Every year, the UK government publishes something that German car executives desperately hope you never see. Over 815 million MOT test records. Every pass, every failure, every suspension collapse, every electrical gremlin, every brake that couldn't stop a shopping trolley. And when you actually analyze this data, when you strip away the marketing and the badge snobbery and the leather seats, you discover something that should make anyone considering a premium car very uncomfortable. A Dacia Sandero, a car that costs £14,000, passes its MOT more reliably than a Mercedes A-Class that costs 3 times as much. A Suzuki Ignis with its 94.6% pass rate absolutely destroys a Range Rover that costs £100,000 more. And the car most likely to leave you stranded at an MOT station with a dangerous defect? It's not some bargain basement econobox. It's the old Land Rover Defender, the classic one. The vehicle of choice for farmers, royalty, and people who apparently enjoy walking home. This isn't opinion, this isn't forum chatter, this is government data, analysed by everyone from which to the Department for Transport. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what mechanics see every single day at MOT stations across Britain, why premium badges have become the most expensive lies in motoring, and which cars you should actually trust with your money. If you're finding value in this kind of data-driven investigation, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We expose the truth about cars that manufacturers desperately want to keep hidden, and there's a lot more coming. Let's start with what the MOT actually tests. This isn't some superficial once-over. Mechanics check 150 separate items covering brakes, suspension, steering, lights, emissions, tires, and structural integrity. Any dangerous defect means immediate failure. Any major defect means your car cannot legally be driven until it's fixed. This is the most comprehensive, standardized reliability test any car faces in Britain. And the data is brutal for premium brands. Analysis of DVSA records by MoneySupermarket covering over 815 million tests found that based on models with more than 100,000 tests since 2005, the Peugeot 207 has a staggering 35% failure rate. But look at the luxury end. The old Land Rover Defender is even worse at 36.2%. The Jaguar XF sits at 17.9%, Range Rover's at 17.4%. These are cars costing between £50,000 and £120,000 when new. Meanwhile, the Porsche 911, which starts at £100,000, has just a 9.9% failure rate. The Toyota RAV4 sits in the top 5 most reliable. The Honda Jazz achieves 95.4% pass rates. The difference isn't price, it's philosophy. Here's what mechanics actually see when premium cars roll in for the MOT. The data from GarageWire analysing 400 million MOT records reveals 3 categories account for the vast majority of premium car failures. First, electrical equipment. This is the single biggest MOT failure category, flagged in over 11% of all failed tests. Premium cars are absolutely stuffed with complex electrical systems, adaptive headlights that cost £800 to replace, LED matrix systems that can't be serviced, only swapped for £1,500 units, sensor-dependent everything. When a £15 relay fails in a Dacia, you get a new relay. When a sensor fails in a Mercedes, you get a diagnostic session that costs more than the relay would have. Second, suspension. This is the fastest growing MOT failure category according to Honest John analysis, accounting for 8.9% of failures. And here's where premium cars get absolutely murdered. Jaguar models that failed MOT had suspension issues in 33% of cases. Land Rovers and their air suspension systems are notorious. That air suspension in a Range Rover, it costs £1,500 to £3,500 to replace per corner. The original Land Rover Defender, built to cross the Serengeti, fails MOT more often than a Suzuki Swift built to cross Croydon. Third, brakes. This accounts for 9.5% of failures. BMW specifically fail MOT most commonly because their parking brakes don't meet efficiency standards. The average age of a BMW to fail its first MOT is 6 years and 8 months. 6 years for a car that costs £40,000. Now look at the other end. Dacia, the Romanian brand owned by Renault that your neighbor probably thinks is beneath him, ranks as the 6th most reliable manufacturer for MOT pass rates. Their cars cost between £8,000 and £18,000. Annual maintenance runs £250 to £400. A service costs around £110 to £140 at a dealer. The Suzuki Ignis achieved a 94.64% MOT pass rate in the 3 to 5 year age category in 2024, making it the most reliable car tested in that bracket. Out of 4,254 tests, 4,026 passed. This is a car that costs around £17,000 new. The Lexus UX at 94.2% costs 3 times as much but at least delivers on the premium promise. Compare that to a Citroën Dispatch with a 37.78% failure rate, or the Vauxhall Combo at 35.87%. But these are commercial vehicles driven hard. What's the Range Rover's excuse? The Warranty-Wise Reliability Index named the Range Rover as the most unreliable used car in Britain. The highest single repair cost recorded was £23,890. The average repair cost was £1,607. This is for a car that costs over £100,000 new and supposedly represents the pinnacle of British engineering. Let me tell you what mechanics really think about air suspension. It's become the defining feature of premium SUVs. Range Rovers have it, Mercedes GLE has it, BMW X5 offers it. It provides a smoother ride and adjustable ground clearance. It also fails between 6 and 10 years with depressing regularity. When air suspension fails, your car literally drops. One corner sags, or the whole thing sits on the bump stop. Warning lights illuminate. The MOT tester writes dangerous defect and you're looking at £2,000 to £4,000 per corner. And here's the thing mechanics know, they rarely fail alone. You replace one, the opposite corner goes 6 months later. 4 corners on a Range Rover means potential repair bills of £8,000 to £16,000 just for suspension. A Dacia Duster has traditional coil springs. They might last 15 years. If one somehow breaks, replacement costs around £150. The Duster achieved 6th place in the What Car Reliability Survey for small SUVs. Its predecessor, the original Duster, came first out of 50 cars in the Driver Power Survey. Owners specifically praised its build quality and reliability. The Range Rover Velar, which costs over £50,000, has a 46% fault rate according to What Car. Nearly half of all Velar owners surveyed had problems. The most common issues were bodywork and electrical faults. More than half of faulty cars took over a week to repair. Let's address the elephant in the room. German engineering. The phrase used to mean built like a tank. Now it mostly means over-engineered plastic that costs a fortune when it cracks. So what does MOT data actually show? The US J.D. Power 2024 Vehicle Dependability Study rated problems per 100 vehicles for 3-year-old cars. BMW scored 189 problems per 100 vehicles. Mercedes-Benz came in higher. Audi scored 273 problems per 100 vehicles, the highest of the German trio. For context, Lexus scored 135 problems per 100 vehicles. The MOT data confirms this. Audi's most common failure? Tire wear, particularly front tires worn below 1.6mm. Their low-profile tires on large alloy wheels are vulnerable to pothole damage. BMW's most common failure? Parking brake efficiency. The average BMW fails its first MOT at 6 years and 8 months. Meanwhile, Toyota consistently appears in the top 5 for reliability across multiple studies. The Toyota Yaris achieves a 91.5% reliability rating. The RAV4 sits at 96.47% according to National Vehicle Solutions. In the What Car Reliability Survey, Toyota ranked 4th overall while Mercedes languished in the bottom half. The gap isn't marginal, it's the difference between a car that starts every morning and one that greets you with warning lights. The MOT data reveals something interesting. Where you live matters. Aberdeen has one of the highest MOT pass rates in Britain at around 81%. London achieves approximately 87% pass rates, but coastal areas, particularly in Wales and the north, suffer significantly higher failure rates. Why? Salt, sea air, road salt in winter. Coastal and northern vehicles face more corrosion on suspension components, brake lines, and structural elements. A premium car in Great Yarmouth faces the same salt as a budget car. The difference is that the premium car's air suspension corrodes just as fast but costs 10 times more to replace. Llandrindod in Wales has some of the highest failure rates recorded, with nearly 48% of vehicles failing in some analyses. The national average sits around 73.7% pass rate, but that average hides enormous variation. A 2017 diesel Ford Focus with 95,000 miles might pass 70% of the time in its cohort. A similar aged Land Rover Discovery might pass 60% of the time. Here's the calculation premium car buyers never make. Total cost of ownership including repairs. Dacia maintenance costs approximately £250 to £400 per year. Mercedes-Benz runs £450 to £800 per year just for routine maintenance, but that's before anything breaks. The Land Rover Discovery Sport costs owners £1,372 per year in maintenance according to ClickMechanic analysis. That's 79% more than the UK average of £756. The repair component averages £745 per repair, more than double the national average. Much of that comes down to the 2-litre Ingenium diesel engine, which has documented timing chain issues that Land Rover owners know all too well. The Jaguar XE costs even more at over £1,400 annually, with average repair costs of £794, which is 110% above average. Compare that to the Vauxhall Grandland X at £600 annually, second cheapest to maintain, or the Dacia Sandero at £602 annually. The Sandero is the third least expensive car to maintain in Britain. Over 5 years, that's the difference between £3,000 total maintenance for a Dacia and £7,000 or more for a premium car. And that assumes nothing catastrophic happens. One air suspension failure, one timing chain replacement, one electrical module that needs coding. Suddenly, you've spent more on repairs than a Dacia costs new. When you ask mechanics what they drive personally, you don't hear Range Rover, you don't hear Mercedes A-Class, you hear Toyota, Honda, Mazda, Suzuki. These are people who see inside every car. They know which timing chains stretch at 60,000 miles. They know which transmissions shudder before grenading at 80,000 miles. They know which electrical systems throw phantom faults that cost £500 to diagnose and £50 to fix. The What Car Reliability Survey 2024 ranked manufacturers by fault rates. Honda came first with a 96.6% overall score. Mini ranked second. Suzuki came third, bolstered by the S-Cross and Swift. Toyota moved up to fourth. Lexus, Toyota's premium division, consistently ranks first. In fact, they've won the What Car Reliability Award 7 years running. It's basically a Toyota in a tuxedo. It just works. At the bottom, Land Rover consistently appears. Jaguar frequently joins them. These are British heritage brands that charge premium prices for below-average reliability. Here's an interesting finding from the 2024 MOT consultation. 3-year-old electric vehicles have the highest proportion of first MOT failures. This surprised regulators who expected EVs to be simpler and more reliable. The issue? Weight. EVs are heavy, very heavy. That extra mass accelerates wear on tires, brakes, and suspension components. The components being tested at MOT wear faster when the vehicle weighs 2.5 tons instead of 1.5 tons. This doesn't mean EVs are unreliable overall, but it does mean the assumption that simpler drivetrains equal fewer MOT failures doesn't hold. A heavy EV still needs tires that don't wear below 1.6 millimeters. It still needs suspension that handles the mass. It still needs brakes that can stop all that weight efficiently. So what should you actually buy? The MOT data points clearly in one direction. Japanese brands, Toyota, Honda, Mazda, Suzuki. These manufacturers consistently achieve the highest pass rates, the lowest repair costs, and the longest intervals between problems. Korean brands. Hyundai ranked third for the lowest MOT failure rates at 16.4%. Kia's 7-year warranty exists because they trust their engineering. The Kia Sportage and the Hyundai Tucson both appear in reliability top 10s across multiple studies. Value European brands. Dacia proves that cheap doesn't mean unreliable. Skoda consistently outperforms its Volkswagen parent company in reliability surveys while costing less. The Skoda Octavia and Fabia both appear in reliable car lists. What should you avoid? Anything where the badge costs more than the engineering justifies. Land Rover products until they're old enough to have all the common faults fixed by previous owners. First-generation versions of complex new models from any manufacturer. The real scandal here isn't that premium cars fail MOT more often. It's the manufacturers know this and charge more anyway. A Mercedes A-Class shares its platform with Renault. The 1.3-litre engine in many A-Class models is a Renault-Nissan unit. You're paying a premium for a badge that sits on shared components that Renault uses in cars costing half as much. BMW's entry-level models use components from the same suppliers as mainstream brands. The difference is labor rates at dealers. The difference is diagnostic fees. The difference is the assumption that premium buyers will accept premium bills without question. That assumption is wearing thin. The average age of cars on UK roads has increased to 9 years. People are keeping older vehicles longer. They're doing the maths. They're realizing that a reliable car you can afford to maintain beats a prestigious car you can't. The MOT data tells a simple story. Reliability and price have almost no correlation. The cars that pass MOT most consistently are often the cheapest to buy. The cars that fail most often are frequently the most expensive. A Suzuki Ignis at £17,000 passes 94.6% of MOT tests. A Range Rover at £100,000 frequently fails on suspension, electrics, and brakes. A Dacia Sandero costs £14,000 and £250 a year to maintain. A Mercedes A-Class costs £40,000 and double that in annual upkeep. The premium lie isn't that expensive cars are poorly built. Some, like the Porsche 911 and its 9.9% failure rate, deliver on the promise. The premium lie isn't that a badge automatically means better engineering. The data proves it doesn't. Next time someone tells you that you get what you pay for, ask them to explain why a Dacia passes MOT more often than a Mercedes. Ask them why mechanics drive Toyotas instead of BMWs. Ask them why the government's own data shows budget cars outperforming premium badges. The answers aren't comfortable for premium car manufacturers, but they should be very comfortable for anyone smart enough to follow the data instead of the marketing. What's the oldest car you've owned that never failed an MOT? Which budget car has surprised you with its reliability? Have you ever owned a premium car that turned into a money pit? Share your stories in the comments below, because this community knows the truth that car magazines won't print. Sometimes the smartest purchase is the one that doesn't try to impress anyone.